November 1939, the Soviet Union makes a decision that will cost it more blood than its generals can possibly imagine. 450,000 Red Army soldiers pour across the Finnish border. Infantry divisions, armored columns, artillery, batteries, a war machine designed to crush a small Nordic nation in 10 days. Moscow expects a parade. The world expects a funeral. Finland has 32,000 men to throw against the tide. No Allied reinforcements, no heavy armor, no air superiority. The math is extinction. But Moscow has forgotten to calculate one variable, one ancient, merciless, unkillable variable that answers to no flag and obeys no command: winter. By the time the first Soviet boots cross into Karelia, temperatures have already plunged past -30. Within days, they will fall to -40. The forests are silent. The lakes are armored in ice thick enough to drive trucks across. The air itself becomes a blade, slicing exposed skin in seconds, freezing moisture inside nostrils, turning breath into brittle frost that clings to eyelashes and rifle stocks alike. Soviet soldiers, many shipped from southern republics, have never experienced cold like this. They wear standard-issue wool coats. Their boots are leather. Their vehicles refuse to start. Their rifles jam as lubricant oil turns to paste inside frozen chambers. They are walking into a white grave, and they do not yet know it. But among the Finnish defenders, quiet men who grew up in this cold, who hunted elk in these forests as children, who understand snow the way sailors understand the sea, there is no panic. There is preparation. They dress in white. They ski between positions. They carry lighter weapons, move faster, vanish into tree lines like smoke dissolving into air. And among them, almost invisible even to his own comrades, stands a man who will soon become the deadliest soldier of the 20th century. His name is Simo Häyhä. He is 34 years old, a farmer from the municipality of Rautjärvi, small in stature, barely 5 feet 3 inches tall. He speaks rarely. He carries an old Finnish-issued Mosin-Nagant rifle fitted with iron sights, no scope. He has made this choice deliberately. A scope glints in sunlight. A scope raises the head above cover. Iron sights keep him flat, low, buried in the snow. He wears all-white camouflage. He moves through the frozen wilderness like something that belongs to it. Not a man fighting nature, but a man who has become part of it. No one in the Soviet army knows his name. No one in Finnish command has singled him out. He is just another farmer with a rifle, standing in the cold, waiting. But the snow knows. The forest knows. And within days, the killing will begin. Silent, methodical, and relentless. One bullet at a time, one breath held in frozen air. One ghost, the Soviet. Empire cannot find, cannot catch, and cannot stop. The temperature drops again tonight. -41 degrees. The war has barely started, and already the dead are beginning to stand. The first Soviet patrol vanishes on a Tuesday. 8 men, sent northeast along a timber road to scout Finnish positions near Kola. They never report back. A recovery team finds them the following morning, scattered across a snowfield, each one dropped by a single round. No shell casings. No boot prints leading away, no sign that a human being was ever within 500 meters of the kill zone. The snow has already begun to bury them. Command logs it as an ambush. A squad of Finnish ski troops, perhaps. A mine. Anything rational. Then the second patrol disappears. Then the third. Soviet officers begin receiving reports that make no tactical sense. Soldiers are dying in ones and twos across a wide front, not in firefights, not in organized engagements, but silently. Sentries found slumped against trees, with entry wounds so clean the men beside them never heard a shot. Scouts picked off mid-stride, collapsing into the snow as though their strings were cut. There are no muzzle flashes, no echoes, just silence. and then another body. Deep in the frozen Karelian forest, Simo Häyhä is building a routine that borders on ritual. He wakes before dawn. He dresses in white. He packs dense Finnish snow into his mouth, a technique he has perfected to cool his breath so that no vapor rises from his position. He selects a mound, a drift, a depression between frozen trees, and he buries himself in it. Then he waits, sometimes for hours, sometimes for an entire day. He does not shift. He does not shiver. His heartbeat slows. His breathing becomes imperceptible. His iron-sighted Mosin-Nagant rests motionless against the snow, its barrel angled toward a trail, a crossing, a known Soviet route. When a target appears, Häyhä does not rush. He watches. He calculates wind by the drift of snow particles. He measures distance by instinct, the same instinct that guided him hunting game in these same forests since he was a boy. Then he fires. Once, the target drops. Häyhä does not move. He waits. Another target, another single round, another body in the snow. His kill count begins to climb. 10, 20, 50, and Finnish officers take notice. This small, silent farmer returns from the wilderness each evening with a frozen rifle and a calm expression. He reports his numbers without emotion. He eats. He sleeps. He goes back out before sunrise. Meanwhile, across the front, the cold itself is killing without bullets. Soviet soldiers are found frozen upright at their guard posts, rifles still clutched in blackened hands, eyes open, frost coating their faces like porcelain masks. They did not fall. The cold killed them so fast their bodies locked in place, standing dead. Statues of war carved by -40 degrees. The Soviets begin whispering a name they do not yet officially know. Something is out there, something in the white, and it does not miss. Simo Häyhä's count passes 100. He does not celebrate. He packs more snow into his mouth, presses his cheek to the frozen stock, and waits for the next breath he will never let the enemy see. There is a sound that no soldier forgets, not the crack of a rifle, not the whistle of artillery, but the wet, grinding rasp of a field saw biting through human bone. In the medical tents behind the Finnish lines, that sound never stops. Frostbite is not a wound. It is a siege. It begins quietly. A numbness in the fingertips, a tingling in the toes, a sensation of warmth that is the body's final lie before tissue begins to die. At -40 degrees, exposed flesh freezes in under 2 minutes. Circulation retreats from extremities like a defending army, pulling back to protect the capital. Fingers blacken, toes harden into something closer to stone than skin. The flesh dies in layers, surface first, then deep tissue, then muscle, then bone marrow. By the time a man reaches the aid tent, the damage is irreversible. There is no morphine. There is almost no anesthesia. Finnish medical supplies are rationed to the edge of nothing. What remains is leather, a strap placed between the teeth, and the saw. Medics work fast. Not because speed is merciful, but because the man on the table will go into shock if they don't. A frozen hand is removed in under 90 seconds. Fingers are taken individually when possible. Feet are taken at the ankle. The screaming lasts longer than the procedure. Some men pass out. Some do not. Those who remain conscious stare at the ceiling of the tent and grip whatever is closest. A table edge, a comrade's arm, their own coat, and endure something no training prepared them for. Simo Häyhä knows this world. He has seen it. He has carried men out of the snow whose boots had to be cut away because the leather had frozen to dead skin underneath. He has watched soldiers unwrap their hands and find fingers that snap like dry wood. He has felt the frostbite creeping into his own body, the stiffness in his trigger hand, the burning numbness in his feet, the razor ache in his cheekbones where skin meets frozen steel when he presses against his rifle stock. He is told to rotate off the line. He refuses. The dilemma is not tactical. It is existential. Every hour in the snow destroys the human body. Tissues die. Nerves fail. Coordination erodes. A sniper who cannot feel his trigger finger is not a sniper. He is a target. And yet, retreating means opening the line. It means giving ground Finland cannot afford to lose. It means the men who already lost their hands, their feet, their fingers on this frozen earth. It means their sacrifice purchases nothing. Häyhä does not frame it in those words. He simply puts his white suit back on. He packs snow into his mouth. He walks back into the -40 darkness with a rifle he can barely feel in his hands. And he kills again. His count passes 200. The cost is written on his body. But the line holds, and the saw keeps singing in the tent behind him. By March 1940, the Soviet High Command has a problem it has never encountered before. A single man it cannot kill. They have tried counter-sniper teams, deploying their best marksmen into the Karelian forest with orders to locate and eliminate the Finnish ghost who has now killed more soldiers than some entire battalions have lost in the war. The snipers go in. They do not come back. They have tried artillery, ordering concentrated bombardments on suspected positions, cratering entire sections of frozen forest into smoking, splintered wastelands of shattered pine and displaced snow. When the smoke clears, the killing resumes. Same pattern. Single shots. No trace. They have sent full infantry platoons to sweep his estimated operating area in wide cordons. The platoons take casualties from a direction they cannot identify and withdraw. The name has spread through the Soviet ranks like a disease. Belaya Smert, the White Death. Some soldiers refuse to go on patrol. Others fire wildly into tree lines at shadows that are not there. Morale is fracturing, not because of the cold, not because of the Finnish resistance as a whole, but because of one man who seems to exist outside the rules of what a human being should be able to do. Simo Häyhä's confirmed kill count has now surpassed 500. More than 250 of those are with his rifle. The rest are with a Suomi submachine gun during closer engagements. He has been operating in temperatures that would kill an unprotected man in hours, lying motionless for entire days in positions that defy physiological endurance, and he has done this for nearly 100 consecutive days. But on March 6, 1940, the mathematics of war finally catch up. Häyhä is in position, buried in a snowbank, white against white, his iron-sighted Mosin-Nagant trained on a frozen clearing. He does not know that a Soviet sniper team has been tracking disruption, patterns in the snow for 3 days, narrowing his operating zone grid by grid. He does not see the marksman 400 meters to his east, lying in a depression behind a fallen birch, glass scope glinting for just a fraction of a second in the pale Arctic light. The shot is an explosive round, a bullet designed to fragment on impact, to destroy rather than penetrate. It strikes Simo Häyhä directly in the lower left jaw. The impact is catastrophic. Half of his face is torn apart, his jawbone shatters, teeth, bone fragments and tissue scatter across the snow. Blood, vivid, shocking red against the white, pools beneath his head as his body crumples sideways into the drift. His rifle falls from hands that finally cannot hold it. He does not move. The snow begins to cover him. His comrades find him hours later, following a blood trail that the cold has already begun to freeze into dark crystal. They expect a corpse. They roll his body over and find a pulse. Faint, barely there, but beating. The White Death is not dead. He wakes on March 13, 1940. His face is wrapped in bandages soaked through with dried blood. His jaw is wired shut. He cannot speak. He cannot eat solid food. He cannot see clearly from his left eye. The pain is a living thing, constant, burning, radiating through shattered bone and torn tissue that field surgeons have reconstructed as best as wartime medicine allows. He has been in a coma for 7 days. He has missed the end of the war by hours. The ceasefire was signed the same morning he opened his eyes. In fewer than 100 days of active combat, Simo Häyhä recorded over 500 confirmed kills, the highest verified sniper count in the history of warfare. No soldier before him and no soldier since has matched that number under any conditions, let alone at -40 degrees, using a bolt-action rifle with iron sights, lying in snow for 16 hours at a time, eating frozen bread, breathing through packed snow to hide his existence from an army that dedicated entire units to finding him. Finland did not fall. The Soviet Union achieved a partial territorial concession, a strip of Karelia, but at a cost so staggering it stunned the world. Moscow sent nearly 1 million men into Finland. Over 125,000 of them never came home. Tens of thousands more returned with blackened stumps where hands and feet used to be, with lungs scarred by frozen air, with memories of standing dead men and invisible bullets, and a cold so absolute it felt intentional, as though the land itself had chosen a side. The Finnish concept is called sisu. There is no clean English translation. It is not bravery, it is not endurance, it is something harder. A biological stubbornness, a cellular refusal to stop functioning. A decision made not by the mind, but by something deeper that the mind cannot override. Simo Häyhä embodied it more completely than any soldier in modern history. He was not a superhuman, he was a farmer, a quiet, undersized, unassuming man who grew up in snow and returned to snow and did what the snow demanded of him. After the war, he recovered slowly. His face was permanently disfigured, the lower jaw rebuilt, the left cheek collapsed, the symmetry of his features forever altered by one explosive round. He returned to farming. He bred dogs. He lived in rural Finland without fame, without interviews, without monuments. When foreign journalists eventually found him decades later and asked the question everyone wanted answered, "How did you become the deadliest sniper who ever lived?" Häyhä paused. His damaged jaw moved slowly. Around the word, practice. He died in 2002 at the age of 96. Quietly, in a country that still existed because men like him had chosen the snow over surrender, had endured the saw over retreat, had held a frozen rifle in hands they could no longer feel, and fired. One more round into the white darkness. The temperature in Rautjärvi the night he died was -19 degrees. The snow fell softly. It always does. It covers everything, the living, the dead, and the ghosts who were somehow both.